Hey, what's good, fam?
What's up, everybody?
I'm Chasten.
And I'm Janet.
And we are back for another week. And in this video this week, we are discussing marriage and finances and how we work together as a team to destroy debt.
That's right.
So in the spirit of teamwork, we want to just bring you into one of our earliest teamwork moments when we created our top secret handshake. So this is the handshake that we created before we were ever married. Here it is. Let's go. Yes. So we love that because, like Janet says often, teamwork
make the dream.
It makes the dream work.
You hear me?
So even small moments like that are examples of teamwork, and that's what we're talking about today. But before we hop into that content,
make sure that you subscribe to our channel. If you want somebody in your corner giving you consistent motivation every week, this is the channel that you want to subscribe to, because guess what? We got you. You got this. You can do it. Let's get it.
Let's go. And so let's go ahead and hop into our content for today. Again, we're talking about how we work together as a team to destroy debt.
That's right.
So to begin our discussion, I'm going to mention 3 words. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Now, if you are married, you know that communication is a huge piece of success in marriage in general, and it's especially important when it comes to finances.
That's right.
And so when we talk about communication, let's break this down a bit. What helps us to successfully push forward as a couple is, number 1, we discuss our financial situation all the time.
All the time. So we are extremely transparent about our situation.
Yes.
If we have something going on financially and we're like, look, we got this big expense coming up, we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
We're going to keep it 100 with each other. We're going to lay everything, all the cards out on the table, and we're going to be honest, open, and transparent about our financial situation, because guess what? We in this thing together.
Yes, we are. And you know what? For us, that actually began before we were married. We discussed our financial situation when we were just dating. And I remember the moment that we had our biggest discussion about finances. We were sitting in a church parking lot, and Janet said, "Look, I have something to tell you."
Yes.
And in that moment,
I proceeded to tell Chasten that I had X amount of debt, student loan debt.
Yes.
And it was very nerve-wracking for me because I was like, I don't know what he's going to say. You know, I saw myself, marrying him as the man of my dreams. And I was like, well, but I got to be honest with him. I got to keep it real with him. We got to be open and transparent. So,
yeah.
But it worked out well.
Hey, we here. And so, fam, regardless of how difficult the situation is, we have to communicate, discuss that financial situation. And not only that, number 2, you have to discuss
that budget.
We discuss our budget each month and multiple times a month.
That's right. Yeah. So before the month even starts, right now we're in the month of May. As we're coming out with this video, we're in the month of May. We already have our budget and our game plan prepared for the month of June.
Yes, gearing up, and we have to talk about it.
We have to talk about our expenses. We have to talk about the uh-ohs that may come up that we have to plan for. We have to talk about how much we're going to spend on groceries and takeout and, all these other things. We have to talk about those things.
Absolutely.
We have to budget those things, and we have to be balanced in our approach when we approach our budget.
Absolutely. So, fam, we have to discuss that budget. We have to dig into those details and say, hey, this is where the money is going. This is where we need to adjust. This is where we need to cut back. This is how we need to move forward. We have to discuss that budget, and that is a big driver of our success. Not only do we talk about our financial situation, but we talk about that budget because that budget is the machine that makes it work.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so not only do we discuss our financial situation, our budget, but we also discuss our dreams and our goals.
Because we have so many of them.
Why is that important?
You know what? let me just start with saying this. Chasten is a visionary. So we have dreams, we have goals. He's not going to come out and say, hey guys, I'm a visionary. But he really is. So we see our goals, we see our dreams, and he says in his mind, all right, this is what we can do, steps A through Z, to get to this particular goal, to be able to make this dream a reality. So that's one of the gifts that God has blessed him with, and it's worked out amazing for our family. But the reason why it's so important to have these dreams and to have these goals is that you have to have something that'll keep you pushing, keep you working towards getting out of debt. You have to have something in your mind, something in your heart that's like, you know what, this is what we see ourselves doing, and this is what's going to help us and to push us in those moments where we feel like we're stuck in a rut, where we're caught in a funk. Like, you need those things to keep you pushing, to keep you going, to keep you motivated. Absolutely. You have to have dreams and goals. You can't live your life just aimless, just walking around in the dark. You gotta have it.
And the important piece in that is you gotta talk about it. As a couple, talk about your dreams. Y'all dream together. This is the fun stuff. Dream together and say, man, in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, where do we want to be? And what does that mean for how we have to live now, 6 months from now, a year from now? Talk about those things. Just to bring you into our situation when we were getting out of debt, man, we dreamed and said, okay, how long do we want this to take? All right. What does that mean for how we need to be living now, and what that means for where our money needs to go? We dreamed, and that dreaming brought us together. It linked us together and allowed us to push, because when you have a dream partner there, you have an accountability partner there as well. Somebody that's there to help you push and get that debt destroyed.
That's right.
So fam, along those lines, when we talk about discussing and communicating, one of the biggest drivers for that, one of the biggest things that helped us to do that, and let me give a disclaimer before we even talk about it. We know that this can be potentially a little controversial, but one of the big things that helped us, right, was combining our income and creating joint accounts. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was huge for us.
It was huge for us because, of course, when you're single, you have your own money, you have your own checking, your own savings. But when we became one, once we said I do, my debt was his debt. His debt was my debt.
Real talk.
It was our debt at that point. And so if it's going to be our debt, well, we're going to put our money together and our bank accounts together so that we can knock this thing out together. Absolutely. Because we became one, and all the money became one with it.
Absolutely. And it's huge, fam. Like just to break it down on a practical point. Like, I mean, when us combining our accounts, it allows us, Jay, to see our situation and to see the lay of the land and to say, hey, this is what the situation is looking like for us as a family. Okay, so there's nothing hidden or nothing out of the way. No, this is it right here. And so this us having joint accounts allows us to see it all. It contributes to transparency and allows us to see all the nooks and crannies and to hold each other accountable and to say, hey, we might need to cut back right there. Hey, you might not need to spend money right here. I know you might want to.
You going to the mall every week?
Right. And so it was huge for us. And like I said, having those joint accounts fueled our communication. It fueled our discussion, and it allowed us to push forward together. Now, again, we know that this may not be for everybody, but we're talking about what helped us to make progress. So Jay, we've talked about this communication and what was the driver behind our communication. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
So really, when it comes down to it, if you are married, you are one. All right. Yeah. And it's essential that you work together as a team because you are a team. Yeah. Once you said I do, this is you. Yep. This is y'all.
Yeah. I see you rhyming.
You became one. And so as one, destroy debt together. Go through life together. Serve one another. And remember to be balanced when you make your budget. You want to serve your spouse. So if your spouse likes to get, his haircut every week, let the brother get his hair cut every week. If you know your lady likes to get her hair done every 2 weeks, let your lady get her hair done every 2 weeks. You can cut other things so that you can serve your spouse in that manner. You just want to be balanced and you want to serve one another. And whenever you communicate, you want to make sure that you communicate from a place where you're not yelling at each other or trying to like attack each other. You want to be loving and understanding of each other's thoughts, each other's emotions, and you want to make sure that you just do it together. You know, you're together for a reason. If you're married, there was something that you saw in your spouse that was like, man, I need that person in my life. Like I gotta have that person with me every step of the way through every single journey. So remember those things and walk together in love and joy and just do this thing together.
Yes. So fam, in the words of the rapper here, when you said I do, this is you.
Yes.
And so we are a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. And so fam, we hope that this video was encouraging to you. If it was, hit that like button. If this was helpful and you believe that it would be helpful to other people, share it with those that you're connected to. And like we said at the beginning, subscribe and stay connected to everything that's going on the channel. Fam, it's always a privilege, always a blessing. We'll see y'all next time.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Peace.